Welcome back to Strawman Trust Productions. I have an overflow. This question was asked yesterday, later in the evening. Randy asked this question. Randy, I'm going to give you the answer anyway just because you got it in on Tuesday. So, yeah, it's fine with me. Pros and cons of becoming a secured party creditor. Really, there's nothing but pros. I mean, somebody asked me that recently, and what I said was, she was asking about, correcting your status and becoming an American or state national. But essentially, the cons would be the same, and that's ultimately just that people maybe don't understand you. You might have to push the issue. You might have to explain that you're not a citizen. Things like that. Those are really the only downsides. And that's that's going to be people that are asleep or people that are all the way in the machine and don't understand and don't want to understand, to be honest with you. Other people that matter, such as financial institutions, creditors, things like that, they're all going to know what time it is with this, and it's going to be a pro. Now, if they think that I had touched upon this in another video, if they think you're going to burn them or something like that, obviously that's not a pro, but you're not going to. If you're acting as a secured party creditor, you can't burn people. You can't burn them. Okay? Offsetting credit and discharging things is not burning people. All right? Just like I tell people all the time, if you're correctly doing a mutual offset credit exemption exchange and you're doing a credit offset, they're going to get something in return. There is no money, there's no cash, so it doesn't come down to that. Ultimately, it becomes a relief from the Treasury. If you've done the process, then you have a bond. So you would reference that bond. Okay, and then that bond would discharge the debt. It wouldn't just magically do it, and you wouldn't send them a letter. Okay, there's a lot of CAFV information, meaning conditional acceptance for value information going around where people basically are just telling you to write letters to these creditors and tell them they got to prove everything. That's just not going to work. Normally, that's just not going to work. Okay, sometimes it will. There's exceptions to every rule. But in the end, it's not going to work most times because the system exists for them to be able to do what they're doing. So they know that they're going to have some sort of recourse unless you're actually who you say you are, which is a secured party creditor. Now, if you are, then you're going to give them the bond number. You're going to reference the bond that you're a secured party creditor. You have a bond. You're going to send that to the Department of the Treasury. Excuse me. Sorry, I had something in my mouth. But anyway, you're going to let them know you're a secured party creditor. You're going to reference the bond. They're going to get an offset. The Treasury is going to give them one. Okay? So they're going to be able to take that negative mark off their ledger. They're going to be able to square everything away come inventory time, and they're not going to have any issues. They're still going to be potentially a little salty. If you come on the back end of something and try to get out of it, they're going to be salty. Let's be honest. So they are, but there's going to be nothing they can do about it. The other thing is, yeah, you can write a letter and communicate with them, but ultimately the people doing the business is going to be the Treasury, not them and not you. So you're going to enact the Treasury as your trustee to do this because you're the beneficiary of the trust account, okay? You're not the owner. You didn't create it. They did. You're not the trustee. You're not running the trust. They are. You're the beneficiary, okay? So understanding that, there's nothing but pros to becoming a secured party creditor. You're going to have common law copyrights to your property, so that means I can't even communicate with you unless you allow me to, okay? I'm not talking about basic verbal communication, but I send you a presentment. You send me the presentment back. Essentially rejecting it or whatever, depending on what the presentment is, you're going to respond to it and also let them know that you have property rights to this straw man and the name and to cease and desist communication immediately. Otherwise, they're going to incur penalties, and that's where your fee schedule comes in and things like that. But let me wrap this up. I believe that there are nothing but pros to becoming a secured party creditor if you're actually becoming a secured party creditor. And your mindset is a creditor's mindset. And your mindset is master the game mindset. You're opting to function in commerce as a secured party creditor in commerce, and essentially saying in their system, you're in the Nebuchadnezzar though, you're not in the Matrix. So you're functioning. The only difference is the agents aren't hunting you. If you're doing it properly, nobody cares because you're not affecting them, okay? And they have to give you the remedy if you ask for it. Now you're going to be subject to some scrutiny if it comes down to it from them if they think you're doing something wrong, because why? You're doing something they really don't want you to do anyway. So hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully you'll be back next week with some more questions, and I'll have some more answers. But in the meantime, stay tuned, stay sovereign, do not consent.